muñecas, welcome back to my channel. Today we have my mom over in my channel and we're actually going to be doing sort of like a get ready with us while I actually teach her a few tips and tricks that she yet hasn't learned about makeup. So she's gonna learn a little bit of makeup today, and I thought this was a great idea because, to be honest with you, my mom is my #1 viewer. She views all of my videos, she watches all of my videos, and she's very supportive, so I really thank her for that. But she feels that she didn't understand like 100% of the things that sometimes we talk about, and for me it's so simple because I'm like, oh, just apply this on the crease or whatever, but for her it was a little bit confusing. So I thought that having like a one-on-one type of lesson while she does her makeup and I do my makeup will not only teach her more basic things, but also those of you that are starting with makeup. So I hope that it's helpful for you. I know that it was very helpful for her as well. So if you want to see how we do our makeup together, and this is our New Year's Eve makeup, then just keep on watching. Alright, so I have my mom here with me and we're going to be doing our makeup together. So it's going to be kind of like a get ready with me, but at the same time I'm kind of going to be teaching my mom how I do my makeup. She knows how to do her own makeup, of course, but it's different, you know, it's not that modern type of makeup that we usually do nowadays. She's like, okay, what are you saying? Diga hi, mommy.
Hi.
How you doing? Anyways, we already started, and what we did is we applied a little bit of the e.l.f. What is this called? Primer, because I was telling her for me it's very important to apply a primer because I feel that it really like fills in the pores a little bit and it just makes your foundation going a little bit smoother and it lasts longer too. So we already did that down here and we blended that in. Right now we're gonna move on to correcting. For me, I have really dark circles, so I definitely use a peachy tone concealer to correct. For mommy, she doesn't really have dark circles like me. Like, she has a little bit, but not as bad as me, but she does have a few hyperpigmentation like from the sun around here, so she can use a little bit of this. I'm using Benefit Erase Base, and we're gonna go in with a concealer brush to just buff it in into the areas that we need to correct and kind of like remove that darkness or counteract that darkness. So we're gonna go in with that. Alright, so now that we corrected our under eyes and for mommy a little bit of the darkness she has on her cheeks, we're gonna go in with foundation. I'm gonna be mixing the Double Wear from Lauder and the Luminous Silk Foundation from Armani. This one is very good for mature skin, but I'm gonna make it a little bit more matte. Believe it or not, for me the Luminous Silk is a little bit more matte than this one. So we're gonna just create a little mixture, and we typically use the same shade of foundation. So I was telling mommy that I like to go in with the butt of the foundation, of the beauty blender, but she actually likes to use the pointy side. In my opinion, the butt side is faster, but whatever you feel comfortable with. She's comfortable with the pointy side, so she's gonna continue using that. And also, I was telling her that it's very important to bring it down your neck a little bit, even if it's the same match, just so that you don't have that demarcation line there. So now that we have our foundation on, now we're gonna move on to eyeshadow. Anytime that I feel that either I don't know the eyeshadows well, or maybe I'm gonna use dark colors, or just if I want my makeup to look really nice and professional, like for a night look or an event, I like to do my eyes first, because that way if anything falls down you can clean it up with concealer and it's gonna look very fresh and, you know, professional looking. So we're gonna go in with a base. I always use a base. This one is the Extended Eye Base from MAC. I like this one, and also the paint pots. Alright, so now that we have the base on, I always like to go in with a light setting powder or an eyeshadow, just that is very light, so we can set that in place. So I'm going to be using this one, the lightest one. Go ahead and just set that in place. I was telling mommy you can use a powder, you can use an eyeshadow, like it doesn't really matter much what you use. Mommy's actually using a face powder for her. I'm using this one. She's using Fit Me Maybelline. Yeah, by Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. She's using that to set it in the color 235. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with eyeshadow. For me, the most important thing for blending and for the eyeshadow to look nice and gradient and really nice and blended is to use different colors. And you always want your eyeshadow to blend into another eyeshadow, if you know what I mean, like into a lighter. You want to go from the crease, you want it to go from darkest to lightest. So I personally like to start with a light tone, like a transitional shade. So always, I most of the time prefer to get something like in this family, like a light brown. It could be, if you're looking for a warmer color, you can make it a little bit more yellow, but you know, just a medium tone shade. Using a fluffy brush, and you want to make sure that you blend in circular motions. So if you want to find your crease, like if you touch your eye like that, your eyeball, you can feel it, like you have a like a line there, like you can feel your eyeball. That's where your crease is at. Ahí nada más. Si quieres hacerlo bolita, puede, pero lo más importante es así, de adelante y atrás, adelante y atrás. Right? So now that we got that blended into the upper crease, we're gonna go in with a smaller brush with a E25 from Sigma, which is just a small blending brush, very similar to the other one. And now we're gonna grab a darker, slightly darker shade. Alright, so this time here for the second darker shade on the crease, it's important to go in like shorter motion, if that makes any sense. Like you don't want to bring it all the way in most of the time, not for a classic look at least. You want to keep it like right here on the outer part, so very short moves. Another important thing is to tilt your head back a little bit so that you can actually see exactly where you're putting the color. So mommy wants something pinky, but you know, simple and classic. So she's gonna be taking this pinky here, which is a shimmery color, and with a small flat shader brush, I'm gonna pack it onto the lid. For my lid, I use a little bit of the Farsali Unicorn Essence because I have seen on Instagram that people use it for eyeshadow, so I'm gonna try that out. Don't forget to wet your brush because I'm going to be using a pigment. The pigment that I'm using is Utopia from Makeup Geek.
Es mi estilo.
Es su estilo. Now we're taking the lightest shade from the palette, which is kind of like champagne, and we're applying that right in the inner corners of the eyes, like on the tear duct. Oh, she's doing that while I'm touching up my crease. Alright, so now that we're pretty much done with the eyes, we're going to go in and highlight the brow bone. We're taking this one right here, which is shimmery, but not too shimmery. It's up to you. Just apply right on there, right underneath the brow. But so that it's not super harsh, I'm gonna have her go in with a blending brush to just blend around the edges. Like I typically just put a little tiny bit. So whenever you feel that the highlight is too harsh, you can go right in with the first brush that you use and a little bit of the same eyeshadow, like your initial transitional shade, and just go back and forth again just to blend it out so that it's not too harsh. Alright, so now we're gonna go into the part that I feel is most important, especially on mature people like us. Is the corrector. We're gonna highlight the under eye area. This is gonna lift up the face, and it's gonna give us the impression that we got a little bit of a job done down here. So I'm gonna be taking medium shade from the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm gonna apply it in a form, like a triangular form. And mommy's gonna see me first how I'm doing it so she can know how she's gonna do it. You can just draw lines, you can do the whole thing, whatever you prefer, but in a triangular shape like that. And then, mírame, we're gonna draw the lines in the center of the face. Mommy's watching me, and then she's gonna do it after me. So we're making a line as straight as we can on the bridge of the nose. That's gonna like lift up the nose a little bit. Just remember, wherever we apply the lighter concealer, that's gonna like bring your face forward, like it's gonna bring those areas. That's why we're highlighting. It's gonna look brighter and it's gonna come forward a little bit more. So to set that in place, I like to go in with a translucent powder or something yellowy, very light. Like I don't use the same powders for the face, are not for the eyes. So today we're gonna be using the translucent powder from Patrick Starr and MAC, and we're gonna take a little bit of the beauty blender. Ahora sí un poquito. On the lower lash line, we're going to be mixing this one and this one, which were the two that we used on the crease earlier. And you want to keep it really, really close. Alright, so now the eyes are pretty much done. I did put a little bit of mascara right here, so I'm gonna wait for that to dry before I remove it. I'm gonna apply some false lashes on Mommy and on myself, and we're gonna be right back. The same powder, yeah, we're gonna go in like on the hairline. That is going to make your forehead look a little bit small. I have a pretty small forehead already, so I don't really need that, but I like to do it because it makes me look bronzy. And now we're gonna go in with blush. I'm gonna use, both of them are from MAC. I'm gonna use Warm Sol right here, and Mommy's gonna be using Spring Sheen. And we're gonna apply it right on the apples of the cheek right here, going upwards. For highlighter, I am using Bronze Glow from Bobbi Brown. Mommy doesn't really use highlighter, but I'm gonna put a little bit today on her. Y esto va aquí. Voltea la cara hacia allá para que... Un poquitito. Alright, so we're back. We did our hair, we finished off the lips, and we actually ate because we were hungry and the family was waiting for us downstairs. And that is it, that's the final result. Mami, enséñale su cara. Ahora sí. So from the conversation that we had, she feels like she learned a lot today. She definitely needs more practice, but she got a few tips here and there that even though she watches my videos, she was like, oh, I never actually realized that. So I think this was really helpful for her, and yeah, I hope that it was helpful for you guys as well. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to thumbs up the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And thumbs up for Mommy because she came over to my channel, and she's so kind. You guys don't know and have no idea how supportive she is. I love her, and she's everything, even though she has no clue of what I'm saying right now. Mamita, ¿sabes lo que yo estoy diciendo? Sí. Nada. Dígale bye, dígale subscribe. ¿Qué esto está tan bajito? ¿Sientas un chin más derecho?
Sí, pues yo soy más grande que tú y...
Usted no es más grande que yo. Mami, no, es que yo tengo esto aquí, estoy chileando con eso. Ok, ahora sí. A ver, yo necesito a alguien que grabe conmigo. A veces yo digo las cosas 2 veces en un mismo idioma y después tengo que decirlo otra vez. Bueno,
me puso pinta la diabla y me dijo.
Yo también. Ven, salud. Ya yo te puse. No, quítate esa.
Claro, pero está bien linda. Ahora que tú eres una mujer, de verdad, con ese cuerpazo que tiene. De verdad. Antes era un esqueleto.
Debajo de los ojos, ahí va debajo de la pestaña. ¿Cómo es?